The House passed the COVID relief bill. Interestingly, there were two Democrats that voted against it, one from Oregon and one from Maine. I don't understand what that is about, but I think going forward, their constituents who are going to benefit from this bill should know how they voted. Now, here's an interesting thing. We ought to remember that when the Republicans passed a $2.3 trillion bill to give tax cuts to wealthy people and corporations, they said, oh, that's going to pay for itself. We knew better. I want you to listen to Ali Velshi, and then we'll take it on the other side.
Expect unanimous opposition from Senate Republicans who say the relief package for desperate Americans is too expensive. It'll increase the debt by too much, which sort of ignores the $2.3 trillion in tax cuts that they forced through just a few years ago. $400 billion more in tax cuts than the Biden package for the ordinary American worker. Remember, those tax cuts were supposed to pay for themselves and not increase the deficit. It did not have that effect. All of us expected it would not have that effect. It increased the deficit. We can increase the deficit, apparently, to give corporations and wealthy people tax cuts, but not when regular working Americans need it. Indeed, the man who spearheaded that extremely partisan effort to get those tax cuts passed, current Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, who was Majority Leader at the time, is now criticizing President Biden's efforts as, quote, partisan.
Listen, these people in Congress, Republicans specifically, they feel empowered to be able to do anything and not suffer consequences. They feel empowered to lie to their constituents. They feel empowered to make sure their constituents aren't paid their fair share of the American pie as they transfer the wealth of most to the top. They feel empowered to do that. And why? And that is because they know that if they express the support for the masses in a particular fashion, that their constituents would say, I rather hurt myself than see others, including myself, do better. They work on a carnal portion of the minds of many to believe that somehow lifting all is affecting them negatively. We have to get away from that. But after Ali Velshi brought that story, and he brought on a new guest, her name is Heather McGhee, who wrote a new book titled The Sum of Us. And in that book, she states many of the reasons why so many vote against their own interests, why the Republicans who continue to hurt the masses feel empowered. After reading the synopsis of this book and after seeing what it's all about, I think more of us need to get deep inside our own hearts, our own souls, to understand why it is we support those who harm us, those who would make our personal economies worse, those who are not there in general for us all. So folks, let's go ahead and start thinking straight. Let's go ahead and start helping our fellow person see the light in whatever manner we can. That is what we try to do here. That is what we're going to continue to do. But the fact that it has been so difficult to get this bill passed, that it's so difficult to get it the size that it should be a wake-up call, not just for progressives, but for all Americans who need what's in this bill. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.